This is First Reality, a comic fantasy written and read by Ryan Starbloat. This release is sponsored by you, hopefully. To purchase the ebook edition, visit my website at www.starbloat.com. This story contains made-up swears and some sexual innuendos. Episode 22. Tiemat's a Breeze. In an unprecedented but not completely unwelcome change of pace, we begin this chapter high in the skies above the world, where the floating castle is positioned today. It moves there like a planet, drifting through air and time like that Gorillaz music video. It's just another castle, okay? Nothing too special.
Just kidding. The Lefinish people of the older ages were frantic bosses at technology. This place is like a fortress from a science fiction story, which is why it is so wrong that a dragon inhabits it.
Tiemat lay with her multiple, 4, heads in the dim lights of the supercomputer screen of her den, where she held the power of the wind and a CD-ROM drive. The entire castle was under her command. "They are coming," said a robot. "Yes," she said, her voice a patient hum of pure evil. "I'm aware. They came too soon. I was just coming up from a nap. We shall attempt to stall them," said the robot. "Together they have managed to defeat 3 of my fiend friends," she said. "Are you not worried?" asked the robot. "Not one bit," Tiemat said, and at least a contrived evil laugh. "If only they knew how it really is." "Thankfully, I do. But you probably don't. The Warriors of Lights, and that one red mage finished their morning journey through the Buchan Desert coming upon, at last, Mirage Tower. They knew it wasn't a mirage once they crested the stairs. Once in, they dashed straight to the top, battling a slew of formidable minor fiends like manticores and floating heads. All the while they were baffled by 2 things. The fact that Levin was modeled in the likeness of Mirage Tower, but a facsimile with a lack of cool robots. "You guys ever noticed how fiends get more challenging as we go on?" said Zoc. "I did," said Tony. "Like if we went after Tiemat first, these fiends would have owned us. Like starting off against Lich was the best option strategically and we didn't even know it. Each place we go, we are equipped to handle the situation," said Aros.
Aros tripped on some stairs on the 7th floor, but that was about it for happening events until the robot army converged upon them higher up.
"There they are," said Zoc. "Why do we detect a lack of being scared snapless in your tone?" A phonic, cylindrical robot pondered. "You're an army, right?" asked Tony. "We are. We work for Tiemat," said the robot. "These, my brobots, will now defeat you systematically." "Maybe, but probably not," said that one red mage. "Look, you do have numbers on your side, but you are all worn down. Not to mention," said Serena, "how powerful we are. Each of us is an army unto themselves." "Yep," concurred Aros. "So if you want to have this random battle, we can. But I just wonder why you're going to work for Tiemat after she enslaved you. The Lefinish built you, and yeah, still enslaved you, but at least they gave you maintenance." "The days of our creators are long gone," said one of the brobots. "We hardly remember them." "Help us rise up against Tiemat," said Zoc. "This place is an amazing system of circuits and wiring. Together we could fran her snap up." "Yes, I think you are right." In a few minutes they had managed to rally the robots to them to stop Tiemat. They were led to where they were to use the warp cube in order to get to the floating castle. A robot explained, "Teleportation is jostling business here. I only hope Tiemat isn't waiting for you. But I know she is." "Bring her on," said Zoc. "Indeed. Once you are in the Sky Castle, you will experience some debilitating effects from the transport. Be ready to be unable to fight for a few minutes. If Tiemat is awaiting you at the warp station, you will have a terrible time staying alive." "You're very bleak," said Serena. "Listen, our supercomputer will do its best to give you the time you need to recover, but understand that Tiemat beat an army of sky warriors, dragons, and robots." "And she might be a Hydra," said Zoc. "In which case, what the friend do we do?" "Hard to say," said the robot. "No, it isn't," said another robot. "Hydras are easy to kill. Just find a way to get them to bleed to death." "Ah, okay," said Tony. "Well," said that one red mage. "On it," said Aros. They huddled together and used the warp cube, to find it was ever so sickly elsewhere. Tiemat was waiting at the warp station.
The warriors of lights were kneeled over, feeling like Snap and about to vomit.
Bright lights overpowered their vision, forcing their eyes shut. Tiemat should have attacked, but she did the thing all villains do when they have an advantage. They say stop before they make the kill. Look how far you've come, only for Tiemat to put you down. Ados blinked as Zoc cast his strongest arrow spell without exactly knowing where it was going. They heard Tiemat flying to dodge it, and they caught their first glimpse of her. She was a massive dragon, the largest they had ever seen. Her coat had a blue sheen, winding from her stone-hard tail to her multiple heads. "Fran, she is a Hydra," said Zoc. "No," said a robotic voice. Now, if the Warriors of Lights were feeling like Snap before, this made it worse. See, the supercomputer of the floating castle knew they needed time to recover, but more than that, they needed Tiemat distracted, even if it would take more time for them to recover doing the only thing the supercomputer knew would work, which was strobe lights. "No," said Tiemat. "I hate strobe lights." See? Is she yelling because she doesn't think we could hear her, or does she just shout like that all the time? Wondered an aching Serena. "The latter," said the supercomputer.
The cavalry came on the horizon of sunset. The airship, piloted by and filled to the brim with Leftinish warriors who wanted their vengeance on Tiemat. In their wake was a contingent of dragons, ridden by more Leftinish warriors. Tiemat was an extreme priority, otherwise you wouldn't see humans on dragons like that. In fact, there was a brief debate among them as to who should ride who. Humans always rode dragons, but dragons never got to ride humans. It just wasn't fair, the dragons had pointed out. Nevertheless, and as we see, humans won that debate yet again, for the sake of slaying Tiemat.
All this convenient timing gave the Warriors of Lights enough time to get their facilities back and finish the fiend. The Brobots on the floating castle were doing the kamikaze thing all around Tiemat, plus laser beam attacks. She wasn't having a nice time, but they were only doing minimal damage. That's where Aros and that one red mage came in, swinging their swords at Tiemat.
They could not penetrate her hide, and only ended up getting smacked around. But Tiemat began to flee after a direct hit down below from Zoc's flare spell, only to be followed by a karate chop from Tony to Tiemat's leftmost head.
What they discovered was quite a twist. "These heads are holograms," said Tony. "Fools," said Tiemat. "No, they aren't." Zoc threw a Blizzaraga spell at a head, and it went right through. "Yes, they are." "Yep," said the supercomputer, and the illusion was dissolved. Tiemat headed for where Serena was casting defensive and endurance spells, allowing Aros and that one red mage to grab onto Tiemat. That one red mage slipped off and stood in Tiemat's way, only to be clawed aside and sent flying, damaged badly. "That one red mage!" Serena howled. She ran after him, only to get smacked by Tiemat's tail herself. Aros was looking for a weak spot on Tiemat's body while Zoc continued casting spells, and Tony reasoned, "Karate is no good against giant dragons." He went to go help that one red mage with a phoenix down. The battle continued, and Tiemat was pushed back into the battlement of the castle by several clawing dragons, her one head pounding with an inevitable defeat. The Warriors of Lights regrouped in the castle courtyard not far from where the warp station was, and witnessed Tiemat trying to flee again. Heroin glided down to pick some of them up, followed by Radud, and a great pursuit began. A bleeding, beaten to snap Tiemat was attempting to find a spot in the Buchan desert where she wouldn't get slain. They had succeeded in displacing her from the floating castle. She flew until finally the chase caused her to crash down in the sands. It was her against many, and she knew her time was up. The Warriors of Light stood over her, feeling the greatness of a world saved. "If only you knew the truth," said Tiemat. "Your origins, the futility of all this, what is about to happen." "Shut up," said Serena. "We're about to save this world from the damage you've done with your wrath." "So you believe. Spare me, and I shall reveal who you are." They thought not, and did her in. After all, as that one red mage said before, these fiends were not to be trusted. Tiemat died with a slit throat. "Okay, all," said Aros. back to the crystal hub of Tiemat's den. They were flown back to the floating castle, and it didn't take much time at all to find the dead crystal hub. The final one was for Zoc. "You'll get this great feeling inside," explained Tony.
"And a resonance with balance," said Serena.
"It's almost like a mild orgasm," said Aros.
But as Zoc did his thing with the crystal hub and got it going once again, the sensation, although the feeling was like his friend said, more like being in a pile of cute kittens to him, the effect was not.
The world around them went crazy, as if they hadn't even spent all that time saving it. Storms raged, lava flowed, the seas got tremendously wavy. Visions of all this started through their minds, tearing at their thoughts. "What the Fran is happening?" shouted Aros. In fact, it seemed as if things were falling apart instead of what they should be doing, no longer falling apart. Something had gone terribly wrong. "The prophecy," said Serena. What if it was Bullsnap and we've just made things worse?" "As it stands now, Serena, it feels like the end of the world," said Tony, trying to hold himself together in all the obvious chaos going on around him. Those that went out that day to finish Tiemat off took the rough journey home back to Levin. And if the wrongness there was that they did not remember the Warriors of Lights' identities, it was still active. Philuppa, the Warriors of Lights, and other important figures such as Bahamas were in a meeting trying to figure out what the Fran was happening. Initially, they were scrutinizing the Warriors of Lights, casting doubt on the amnesia story and accusing them of being the true evil. They relaxed a little when our heroes meticulously listed all of their good deeds, what with the having saved everyone. "We seriously have no idea what is happening," said Aros. "You wouldn't," said a new voice who had just entered the room. "And I wish you didn't have to find out. Worst of all, for me to be the one to have to tell you." It was none other than Lucan, said Philuppa. "Lucan, not in crescent shape?" asked some minor character spouting exposition. "This must be serious." "So it is," said Lucan. "Warriors of Lights, we have no time, but I will tell you that you could still save the world. Probably. Only if we hurry." Lucan's words were heated and a cliffhanger occurred. That was First Reality. The next episode will be released next Wednesday. To find out what happens sooner, this book is available on both Amazon and Kobo. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ryan Starblow. Enjoy your day, yourself, and your mind.